Thank you, Chair, and I'm grateful to my honourable friend and former MP, the member for Blaydon, for securing this debate. Bus travel is particularly relevant to my constituents in the City of Durham, a constituency with a small city centre surrounded by many rural, former pit villages that rely heavily on underfunded and insufficient local transport network. In villages like Pittington or Waterhouses, services are essentially non-existent at times. In particular, home-to-school transport has become a real issue for families, with schools struggling to subsidise costs due to funding cuts and rising costs. For some children in my constituency, school bus travel now costs an outrageous £90 a month. At St Leonard's, for example, nearly a third of pupils can no longer afford the school bus and have had to seek alternatives. And this has forced many parents to rely on service buses, which are often unreliable, irregular, inaccessible or unaffordable. My office has received multiple reports of buses driving past stops because they're full, or services that simply don't show up. As an example, one girl was quoted almost £900 per year for a school bus place, despite the stop being a 3-mile round walk across dangerous roads and unlit wooded paths. So now she's forced to use a service bus, with frequent unplanned cancellations that often leave her late for school or waiting in the dark for long periods. And this has made her very anxious, and her parents have now given her a rape alarm for the dark nights. And head teachers have also reported safeguarding concerns such as bullying and inappropriate comments from adults that have led to police involvement. And these problems also impact on learning, with some people priced out of key educational opportunities. A head teacher in my constituency told me that talented students are having to miss extracurricular activities because they cannot rely on service buses to get home. The government simply cannot say they're levelling up our region while children are struggling to get to and from school. And unfortunately, the issue I've highlighted have a knock-on effect to the wider community. Increased demand around school run hours is resulting in crowded buses and disruption to commuters, whilst many parents are now driving their children to school, causing more disruption to local residents and increased air pollution around school like St Leonard's and Durham Johnson. And in the more rural areas, there's no public bus, no car, only an expensive school bus that eats into household incomes during this cost of living crisis. Now, I'm immensely grateful to the head teachers and the parents who are working tirelessly for a workable solution to this. However, when it comes to local and central government, it's like banging my head against a brick wall, with both refusing to take responsibility. When I raised this with Durham County Council, they told me that they agree with the principle of more support for school transport, but they can't do anything to help. I then took it to the previous schools minister, who told me he sympathised, but that he too couldn't help me. I'm now working with schools and bus operators to find a solution, but it's only right we get some support from this government who talks so much about levelling up places like Durham. So can the Minister outline the steps her department has taken, alongside colleagues across government, to ensure that every child and young person in my constituency has an affordable and reliable route to school?